Rainmaker Securities. Greg, thanks a lot for joining us. Broadly speaking, what do you think the environment is like for U.S. IPOs in 2025?
Well, great to see you again, Paul. Thank you for having me. I think we're set up well for a very strong 2025. This was a relatively pedestrian year in 2024. I think the election uncertainty and some other challenges with, varying sentiments on the economy, which I think are now gone, are setting up well. We saw ServiceTitan, a company that went public 2 weeks ago. It's traded up 45%. We've seen, the few IPOs that I cover in the tech sector, you mentioned Rubrik and Reddit, have traded up extremely well, triple-digit percentages this year. And I think there's a very strong pipeline of companies that are seeing, obviously, a strong market. They're seeing strong demand for new issuances. And I think, 2025 bodes very well. And we're starting to see it with investment banks gearing up. And so I think the expectations are that we're going to have a strong run, obviously, assuming status quo in terms of rates and views on the economy.
How much of an impact is there at all from the incoming Trump administration?
I think it's a big tailwind. People see a better regulatory environment. They see lowering corporate tax rates. I think they see maybe loosening up of M&A shackles. And so I think that in general, it's probably a good environment. Obviously, there's lots of external factors that can change that. I mean, one of my concerns is the 10-year is still rising. It's the one indicator that's important specifically for growth issuances that I am paying attention to. But in general, I think all dials are pointing to a strong 2025 IPO market. Okay,
let's talk about some names of companies that are thought to be or known to be preparing for an IPO. The first is Chime. This is an online banking software company. I've seen from your notes that it has hired bankers. Back in September, it hired Morgan Stanley. Talk to us about Chime.
Yeah, they not only hired bankers, but they actually just filed confidentially last week. So Chime's a very strong digital bank, very focused on lower income workers, and has strong growth, very good fundamentals from margins, et cetera. They've been talking about going public for a couple of years and just been really waiting for the market to be ready for an IPO of their size. I expect that could be the first sort of billion-dollar capital raised in an IPO in 2025. And, we'll see when the roadshow starts, but that'll probably be a February, March IPO that will be very closely watched.
And Klarna is perhaps a better known name. This is the name that we see when we make online purchases. It offers us the option of paying in installments, I believe. What is the status on Klarna and its plan to go public?
Yeah, Klarna's also filed their IPO, and we expect to see that one coming, early in 2025 as well. Think about it as a buy now, pay later, similar to Affirm, which has traded up very well this year. And Klarna has talked about going public for a while. Very strong company, and again, they should be ready to get out of the chute early in 2025.
Corweave is another one. Talk to us about Corweave and tell us what it does.
Yeah, so Corweave is an AI infrastructure company. So they are the people that are selling GPUs. So they have a GPU server platform. So if companies need GPUs to run AI applications, think of a GPU chip as being NVIDIA. Think of a GPU server as being what Corweave offers. And so they are powering AI applications, which obviously is the strongest growing part of the economy. So they have nearly untouched demand for their GPU servers right now, and they would follow the NVIDIA path for demand there. And so I think Corweave, which has traded up extremely well in the private markets, we actually see a lot of trading on Corweave on our Rainmaker securities platform. Will have really strong demand in the markets as a great picks and shovels way to play the AI space.
Okay, let's go to companies that I believe you have flagged as maybe coming next and maybe less advanced. One of them you point to, this is interesting, Fanatics. Most sports fans are familiar with Fanatics. It's a maker and a brander of sports apparel like T-shirts, hats, jerseys, and so on.
Yeah, so Fanatics, I mean, you think about just a play on the amazing growth in sports in general and enthusiasm towards sports and teams. Fanatics is the leading licensing business across most major sports. And so most of the merchandise you buy for whatever your favorite team may be probably has a Fanatics license associated with it. So it's been a strong growing company for a long time. It's a market leader. It's a great play on the excitement that people have towards sports merchandise. And so I expect Fanatics will be another company that will file and go public in the first half of 2025.
Greg Martin, thank you a great deal for this conversation. Greg Martin is Managing Director at